Known for initially contacting the Kaminoan cloners on Kamino to commission them to create a clone army to be used by the Republic, Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas was ultimately a victim of the Sith, who wished to take control of the clone army project for their own goals and ambitions. But following the Jedi Master's death, what became of his blue-bladed lightsaber? The answer to this question has two distinct and differing answers, when the ultimate end for Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber in the canon is compared to that in Legends. In this installment of the Canon Versus Legends Series, I will describe what ultimately happened to Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber after his death, as it was seen within the canon, and how this greatly differed from what occurred in Legends. Let's begin with the canon version of events. Born on the Cassandran worlds, Sifo-Dyas was able to rise to the rank of Jedi Master, and had a position on the High Council during the waning years of the Galactic Republic. However, Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas was ultimately removed from his position on the Council on the basis that he held beliefs that were too extreme. Prior to the invasion of Naboo, Sifo-Dyas began to come into conflict with the other members of the Council as he foresaw the coming of a galaxy-wide conflict that required the Republic to create an army. This position caused Sifo-Dyas to clash with the other Council members, and he was removed because of it. However, still strongly believing that the Republic needed a fighting force in which to use in the coming conflict, Sifo-Dyas fashioned a solution to carry out his intentions to create an army that did not require the consent of the Jedi Order or the Galactic Senate. He contacted the Kaminoans and secretly instructed them to grow a clone army for the Republic. This was done unilaterally and without the authorization of either the Jedi or the Galactic Senate. Soon after commissioning the clone army from the Kaminoans, Sifo-Dyas was contacted by then Supreme Chancellor Finis Valorum. Valorum assigned the Jedi Master to oversee negotiations with a criminal organization known as the Pike Syndicate on the planet of Obadiah. The talks between the Pikes and Sifo-Dyas on behalf of the Republic could not be concluded, as the Jedi High Council contacted him to deal with a conflict that had arisen on the planet of Felucia. Sifo-Dyas' journey from Obadiah to Felucia would be the catalyst for his demise, as unbeknownst to him, the Sith had discovered his secret plan of having the Kaminoans create the clone army, and they wanted to take control of it for their own purposes. Therefore, Count Dooku hired the Pike Syndicate to murder Sifo-Dyas, which the Pikes accepted and carried out in order to position themselves favorably and gain an advantage over other crime syndicates. As per their agreement with Dooku, the Pikes shot down Sifo-Dyas' shuttle over Obadiah's moon, which the damaged ship then crash-landed upon. After the Pikes carried out the assassination, they inspected the wreckage of the downed shuttle, confirming that the Jedi Master was killed. They then provided Dooku with his body as proof that they'd been successful. But what wasn't handed over to Dooku by the Pikes was Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber. Therefore, his lightsaber would lay untouched upon Obadiah's moon for years, until it was ultimately found by another Jedi Master. Over a decade later, near the end of the Clone Wars and the rise of the Galactic Empire, Jedi Master Plo Koon investigated a signal that was being received by the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. As part of his investigation, Plo Koon led a task force with Commander Wolffe and the 104th Battalion to track down the signal, thereby bringing them to Obadiah's moon. After initially having difficulty in locating the source of the signal due to a fierce sandstorm, they were able to eventually find the ship. While searching the ship, Plo Koon ultimately found Sifo-Dyas' blue-bladed lightsaber. When reporting his findings back to the Jedi High Council, Jedi Master Yoda confirmed that the lightsaber he found had belonged to Sifo-Dyas. Therefore, after roughly 13 years, Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber was back in the possession of the Jedi Order. So if that's what happened to Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber, as seen within the canon, what were the differences that were presented in Legends? As we'll see, although the early events of Sifo-Dyas' life are similar to those seen in the canon, the lightsaber of the Jedi Master never made it back into the possession of the Jedi Order in Legends, as it eventually found its way into more nefarious hands. Similarly as seen within the canon, in Legends, Sifo-Dyas was born on the Cassandran worlds, rose to attain the rank of Jedi Master within the Order, and was eventually granted a seat upon the Jedi High Council. Further, Like his lightsaber in the canon, Sifo-Dyas had a single-bladed blue lightsaber. In Legends, Sifo-Dyas also foresaw the coming of a full-scale galaxy-wide conflict that required the Republic to raise an army in order to defend against a coming darkness. However, what wasn't seen in the canon was the involvement of the Sith in persuading Sifo-Dyas that dangerous times were approaching, and in promoting the idea of using the Kaminoans to grow a clone army to be used by the Republic. On two separate occasions, one 30 years before the eventual start of the Clone Wars, and one 10 years prior, Sifo-Dyas came into contact with Hugo Damask of Damask Holdings, who in actuality was the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Plagueis. On both occasions, Damask confided in the Jedi Master that he sensed dark times ahead for the galaxy, and during the second meeting, when Sifo-Dyas was more inclined to agree with his sentiments, he informed Sifo-Dyas of the abilities of the Kaminoans to grow an army of clones. Nonetheless, Sifo-Dyas ultimately commissioned the clone army from the Kaminoans without the authorization or knowledge of the Jedi or Galactic Senate, was then murdered by the Sith, who arranged for the Pike Syndicate to shoot down his shuttle so as to take control of the clone army project, and his body was turned over to Dooku by the Pikes as proof of their successful assassination, all similar to that as seen in the canon. However, it's at this point where the Legends version of events in regard to the ultimate destination of Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber starts to significantly diverge with the canon version, as not only did the Pikes hand over Sifo-Dyas' body to Dooku in Legends, they also provided Dooku with the Jedi Master's blue lightsaber. Once Dooku was in possession of Sifo-Dyas' body and lightsaber, instead of disposing them following the assassination carried out by the Pike Syndicate, Dooku decided to keep his body preserved in a cryogenic hibernation capsule for roughly 10 years. Dooku would not find an adequate use for Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber until the Sith started preparing for war against the Galactic Republic, and they realized that they'd be in need of generals to command the droid armies of the Separatists. After being ordered by his master Darth Sidious to enlist Grievous, the experienced and formidable Kaleesh warrior, into their cause against the Republic as a general, Dooku devised a conspiracy with San Hill, chairman of the Intergalactic Banking Clan, as well as Poggle the Lesser, to completely incapacitate Grievous in order to rebuild him as a powerful cyborg under their control and influence. Their plan worked, as they caused Grievous' shuttle to explode, resulting in him sustaining enormous physical injuries requiring that he be rebuilt almost completely, thereby transforming Grievous into a cyborg. Upon the completion of Grievous' surgery and augmentation on Geonosis, Dooku was satisfied with the outcome of the transformation, thereby making Grievous the supreme commander of the droid armies. Further, Dooku provided him with a gift, his first lightsaber, which was the blue-bladed lightsaber of Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas that Dooku had kept in his possession all that time. Therefore, in Legends, Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber was given to Grievous by Dooku, which he would go on to use throughout the Clone Wars. So there we have it, how Jedi Master Sifo-Dyas' lightsaber was ultimately found by Plo Koon in the canon, and how it was given to Grievous by Dooku in the Legends version of events. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. If not for me, for Commander Wolf.